all the dogs that played the character were male, despite Lassie being described as a female. Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
what I
it
thought.
was more than one dog. It was more than one dog. Wow.
Wow.
They really
Two Dogs Club are proud sponsors of Accelerativ Thrust.
They really tricked me, man. I'm actually like pretty traumatized by that.
Sorry to ruin your childhood yet again.
Citizens of Earth, welcome to Accelerativ Thrust. I'm Dan.
And I'm Eric.
Today I wanted to, we have a really, I feel like it's a pretty special release to talk about, actually.
Yeah, I would agree.
Before we get to that, though, I wanted to bring up something that I came across this article that talks about Coachella Festival 2025. Is drawing comparisons to the Fire Festival. Concert goers, I guess, are facing 12-hour wait times in the California desert and all this, this and that. And people are starting to think it's like the next Fire Festival. And what's interesting, so you know the whole story behind Fire Festival, right?
My understanding is it sucked.
Yes, to say the least. The Coachella, I guess the wait lines are causing chaos in this article that I'm reading. And it's like, it got me thinking. And I want to get your take on this, Eric. Is it time to just completely retire music festivals?
I think they need to retire at least the use of the suffix Palooza. I think it should be illegal at this point to add Palooza to anything you do. It's honestly everything. Like the church freaking fish fries, Fish-a-Palooza.
Here we are at Fish-a-Palooza 2008.
Everything is Palooza, and I'm sick of it.
Whoa. You're telling me there's a Fish-a-Palooza?
Here we are at Fish-a-Palooza 2008.
I'm telling you there's a blank Palooza for everything in the world.
Wow.
Anything you can think of. Shoe Palooza.
Called the Shoe Palooza.
Really?
I don't know.
Do you think there's a Cat Palooza?
We are talking Kitten Palooza.
Yeah.
There should be a cat. That shouldn't be illegal.
All the Paloozas. That should stop.
All the Paloozas. I think we have the name of the episode, Eric.
Maybe we'll see how dumb it gets. I hope dumber. This delay is really cutting into our comedic timing here. It's frustrating.
Oh man, yeah, it is.
But
it is.
Seems okay now. So start being funny.
Yeah. Let's start being funny. All right. Hey.
Yay. Have you heard this one? So there's this guy, right? I'm just thinking of all the ways to start funny stories. Oh, wow. Yeah, but festivals, one thing about them failing, though, that's good, is I might be able to actually see some bands I want to see.
Sure.
What I mean is, for decades, it seemed like The Cure, right?
Yeah.
Only did festival shows, and I don't like festivals, so I didn't see them. It's I don't want to be somewhere for 3 days waiting around to see a band where it's just a really uncomfortable, gross, shitty, least intimate setting you could ever have,
Absolutely.
And so that part of it, I'm glad about that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's always going to be, for pretty much everything, whether it sucks or not, there's going to be people growing up and experiencing these things for the first time and thinking that they're really important and cool, and they are for them in their lives, 100%. But it's easy for us to be like, well, festivals when we were young were cool and now they're bullshit. Just that kind of thinking in general can skew your vision a little. And Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's young people that are like, hell yeah, I'll go to Lollapalooza. That's going to be awesome. And like be legit stoked about it, you know?
Sure.
So,
Sure.
in my opinion, yes, festivals suck and we shouldn't have them. But, you know, there may be some other people that maybe the festivals are at this point more designed for, you know what I'm saying, than me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always just try to, like, my big litmus test for pretty much everything is, did the creator, not God, did the creator of this,
Tyler?
yeah, of art, did they have me in mind? And does my opinion of this matter on any level?
Yeah.
You know? And a lot of times, most things these days, they weren't thinking about me. I'm not the fan or the whatever, the person that they wanted to reach out to. You know? In fact, they'd probably be bummed that I was listening to their music. They'd be like, well, we screwed up somewhere. We gotta do something different because
this guy does
we don't need that demographic.
This guy does a podcast, and they're talking a lot of stuff about you, Tony. You think you can take them out?
What is that? Art mob?
Yeah. There's got to be an art mob. I mean, come on.
Art mob. Oh, there's an Art Bell. Art Bell does a radio show. You know what it's called?
It's called the Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah.
Art Bell.
And do you know that there's a song called Coast to Coast?
Yes, there is.
On an album by...
It's from this band that we're going to talk about today, in fact.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about some music. Let's actually go into this podcast with a little bit of purpose.
Let's actually do our goddamn job for once.
Let's do our job. Yes.
Come on, everybody, it's record time.
The name of the record that we're going to talk about today is from this band called the Elephant March, and I'm not sure who the members are, who all the members are, but we got an email from Matt Redden, who is a member of the band, and he shared with us this album called Greetings from Hypnagogia.
Yeah, I looked it up. I had Google pronounce it for me. They said it's Hypnagogia.
Hypnagogia.
Oh, Hypnagogia.
Hypnagogia.
Yeah.
Okay. That actually sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
So Greetings from Hypnagogia.
Hypnagogia.
This was a couple months ago that we got this email, and he had mentioned that they're this band, and they're from Indiana, by the way. Not sure exactly what part of Indiana, but But anyway, so this he sent us this album, and he said that it wasn't going to be out for a little while, but that they had been, that at the time they were kind of in talks with some bigger labels and onto big things. And I gotta say that listening to this record, it sounds like it. This is their debut album, and I'm not sure where these guys came from. I'm assuming that they all probably did time in other bands, or I mean, I would not be surprised if some of them are trained musicians, because the level of presentation, the level of production, and I think, Eric, you're probably going to agree with me on all of this. The presentation, the rollout of this debut album, and the production level. I mean, right out the gate, this band is operating on a high level. I mean, they're doing like promotional stuff that you don't really see from a lot of bands today, especially right out the gate with a debut album. I mean, they're going above and beyond with like, okay, we're putting out a new record. They're holding a listening party, which, by the way, is April 20th.
April 18th.
Or excuse me, April 18th. April 20th is the actual release of the album, but April 18th is the listening party. And
7 p.m. on Bandcamp.
Yep. on Bandcamp. So if you want to RSVP to the listening party and get a chance to listen to this after our review, please do so, because I don't think you'll regret it. This is incredible music. I mean, there's so many things happening on this record.
Yeah, I mean, we could start anywhere. We could start with the production.
Yes.
It's really amazing. I would honestly suggest listening on headphones, which I don't say that often, because honestly, in any setting, you should be able to hear whatever the artist wanted you to hear. But there's so much little cool things happening in this that it's really nice to have them super separated in your ears. But very full production. Like I said, attention to detail is crazy. The whole thing overall honestly reminded me of Jeff Lynne and ELO, which, if anyone knows me, production-wise, I don't really have a greater compliment than that, honestly. It sounds amazing. So
it has, for me, it has a theatrical quality to it. That is, I can't imagine that there is not a concept that is connecting all of these songs, because it sounds like kind of like every song, it's just like a piece of a bigger story or something.
For sure. I think that's probably accurate. Everything seems to have to do with UFOs and conspiracy theories and maybe even the paranormal. One
of the things about this record that I think is pretty cool to me is that it's very, very, like, I don't know, it has kind of a nostalgic feel to me, like as far as like the sound goes. And the only reason why I say that is because it's representative of a time where I think music like this was maybe a lot more in the public eye, and that, like, you don't hear records this well put together very often anymore. This is a very nice surprise. Like, it's you kind of have like these expectations a lot of times when somebody sends you like a new record that you haven't heard, and you sometimes get an idea of like what to expect. Going into this record, I had no idea what to expect. No. So there are parts of this that sound like, I don't know, it could be like show tunes or something, or like at least a very like, I could imagine some of this. It's as good and well produced to be like a score for like a major film at times.
I can see aspects of that. Sure.
Very, very good. But then there's also some really heavy driving stuff on it too. Like there are parts where the singer reminds me a lot of the singer from Him. And the music also reminds me of Him a little bit.
Okay. I haven't listened to Him very much.
Okay. Yeah. It's like melodic hard rock, you know? Okay. And then also, but then there are times where the music goes into places that are just really beautiful. Like, okay, the last song I'm going to say right now on the record is called Inflatable Feelings. And it's honestly one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's really great.
It's great because there's almost a buildup to it. It's kind of like, so what it reminds me of, not in sound, but in the way that it's presented on the record is, you know, the Toadies' second album, Hell Below, Stars Above.
Oh yeah. Love it.
The whole record is just in your face, heavy, knocks you down. The whole record until the last song, Doll Skin. And it's just this like beautiful, like ballad, you know, that just, it makes you, like, I hear it and it makes me cry. Like,
yeah, it's great.
Mean, seriously. And that's honestly like the kind of thing that I feel this record does is that the first like 10 songs are all very kind of intense and in your face. And like you said, talking about all these dark subjects, like the song Morning Coffin, it seems to be addressing like drug addiction and things like that. But then like Inflatable Feelings is just this, like, I don't know, it's like an outro. It's like the perfect outro to like the record, you know, because it's like all of a sudden it's very melodic, there's a lot of harmony going on. And it reminds me of, like, I kind of hate to use this, but I use it all the time. So what the heck, like 90s alternative type stuff, you know?
Yeah.
But it's done in a very updated, like under the guise of being like very modern and updated, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of different things at play as far as that idea goes. Like, I kind of considered it overall kind of like dark power pop, maybe. And there's like moments of maybe post rock in there, even folk psych stuff. But one thing that really stood out to me, I didn't listen to this kind of music very much at all, but like early 2000s emo stuff. And even like maybe dark emo. I don't know what they call like My Chemical Romance. I don't know.
I think they kind of call it like I think you're kind of on the right track. It's like I've heard them be referred to as like goth emo.
Okay. So, but it kind of has production wise and like the crispness of everything and how it's put together. It kind of has an element of that to it, I think, too.
For sure.
The funny thing is there's also, in my opinion, and you said theatrical, and I agree with that. Another way that I was thinking about it, though, there's like this ever-present, wild, dark carnival element to it. I don't know how to describe that, but it's just a feeling that runs throughout it. Like, this is, this is theatrical. This is a presentation. This is a freak show, you know? And it just kind of weaves its way through the whole record. And I think it's really cool to have that almost like philosophical texture to the whole thing. Like it's implied, you know, throughout. It's not really overt, but it's a feeling that runs throughout the whole thing. So I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, for sure. And there's also kind of a post-hardcore element to it. I hear at times, especially in the guitar work, like the riffage, I hear like a lot of like sort of Far and like quicksand, that kind of. I did too.
Out. I was thinking Far, but I also, along those same lines, At the Drive-In.
Yes.
And so those things sound like they don't really go together, all the stuff we're saying, but it actually weaves together really well. Like Dan was saying, this is a surprisingly mature and well thought out, well performed, well produced record. Like, you know, I don't know. It's really on it, like you said, on another level.
So, like, just to give you kind of a glimpse into the Elephant March to kind of know what you're in for, I'm going to read. They wrote a very quick biography on Bandcamp, and so I'm going to read that so people kind of know maybe what to expect. The Elephant March comes out of Northwest Indiana, blending alternative, punk, and indie influences into a sound that's both dynamic and introspective, with music that explores themes of transition and the unseen, often inspired by the veil, a liminal space between awake and asleep. I think that they have done so much justice to describing their band just right there.
Yeah.
It's very, very otherworldly sounding for sure.
It does have that vibe to it for sure.
I am beginning to 100% see the parallel between My Chemical Romance, because that's the singer's voice. Again, I don't know who the singer is. It could be Matt Redden. But whoever the singer is, who does a fantastic job, as does everybody. I mean, the performance level, that's another thing, is just stellar. It's like damn near perfect. And
it really is. It's like all the things that people tell me about Steely Dan that I just can't hear. I don't like them. And everyone keeps telling me I have to like them. If you're in that same situation, I would check out the Elephant March, because
there you go.
I mean, honestly, the lead guitars are crazy. They're usually playing some minor counter melody. The rhythm guitars are pretty heavy, and it gives it that post-punk feel. But the percussion's cool. The bass is cool. A lot of cool techniques with the percussion too, like marching snare and a lot of tom work. And I don't know, everything is really cool. Like the guitar, I'll go back just for a second, then I'll let you talk, Dan. Sorry. But the lead guitars, this is going to sound like too much, but it kind of reminds me of some of George Harrison's lines where you don't really notice right away what they're doing, but then you realize it's kind of moving the entire section of the song. And they use a lot of cool effects like infinite sustain that like they use to produce like string arrangement sounds almost. And like utilizing feedback and that infinite sustain with like the vibrato, like Jay Mascis or Modest Mouse might do, like feedback bending, you know, they do all that kind of stuff. And it's just like throughout the whole record. It's pretty amazing.
It is. And the singer's voice has an intensity to it that really is, I can definitely see like a parallel between him and Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance for sure.
I liked them a lot. I honestly felt like they were soft in a way, but still edgy. And this, like, there is screaming in it, but it's reserved for like effect and almost like part of background vocals, which are also great. All the arrangements of the background vocals are super great.
Yeah. All of the music on this seems very well thought out. You can really hear that these guys probably sat in a room and really worked on it, you know?
Yeah. And the songs are good too.
The
so songs like good songs, good arrangement, good production.
So good. Another thing that I want to bring a little bit of attention to is the lyrics I thought were just really cool.
Yeah. My favorite one, my favorite song I think was probably Coast to Coast. But the lyric in it that I loved was, "The government is spying on your grandma. You better shield your eyes." I just thought it was a great line.
Some of the riffs and the music and the way it's put together too. It's very progressive.
It is. I mean, it's almost like prog by default.
Yeah.
Like the arrangements are so well thought out, and so the parts are isolated unto themselves, and you can hear everything that's happening, and then they also work together as the complete song. And I really like that. You know, I love muddy things where everything just turns into a wall of noise. I love that too. But when things are really this separated and on their own, I really love that too. It's a completely different approach, and honestly, kind of, I gotta say, a different approach of the stuff that we usually cover on here. I'm not saying this is like normal music. I'm just saying that it's really good and well done. And I know that sounds silly, but a lot of times we cover things that maybe are a little more challenging, at least the sound of it, you know? I just think I love this. I really do.
Yeah, it is. It's phenomenal. So these guys are the rollout for this album, very impressive. You can check them out on they have a YouTube, they have an Instagram and Bandcamp. And so once again, the Greetings from Hypnagogia listening party is free, and April 18th at 7 p.m. That is Friday or next?
That's right.
Then the official release is going to be April 20th, which I believe that this is going to be on all the streaming platforms. So if you want to take a listen before this record comes out, RSVP for the listening party. All you have to do is go and sign up at their website, and
I'll just give my recommended if he likes, even though we covered most of it on here. But I thought, like I mentioned at the drive-in, Edon, Tripping Daisy, the Toadies of Montreal, as far as that theatrical part of it, the Shins a lot actually too, and the Land of Blood and Sunshine from here in Iowa. I think it shared a lot of not only sound but approach and subject matter, and sort of like the aesthetics of everything. It just reminded me a lot of that too. So
and for me, a lot of the same stuff that you mentioned, like Toadies, for sure. But I heard a lot of Far and Quicksand in the riffage. And then also, the biggest thing it reminded me of was Hymn. I also kind of put, maybe this is because of the carnival aspect, I did also put down like Faith No More and Bungle too.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah. Yeah. Did I say Black Heart Procession?
I don't believe so.
Okay. That reminded me. It reminds me of Black Heart Procession as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so good. I don't know. Like, I feel kind of lame just being like, this is a great album and you should check it out. It's really one of the best. But I mean, it kind of is true. And that's the way it is. I don't know. You know
And
what I mean? Like, to fully get behind something kind of feels like I'm supposed to be more jaded than this. You know what I'm saying? But
that's
I'm
because
just
you
not.
are.
I know. That's the thing. But this, for some reason, just kind of like it just breaks it down, you know? And I
But
guess
you know what?
that in and of itself is a pretty big deal.
And that is also, I mean, honestly, that's kind of a good thing that, you know,
Yeah.
two fellas who kind of music elitists in their own way,
Yeah. Right.
that this band can just like break down those barriers. Fantastic stuff.
With wings, I didn't really wanna try. Look right between the eyes. So many choices get decide. And in the night you hear us.
I do have to give a shout out to Enemy Chuck. I know you're gonna hate this, Eric, because I gotta give a shout out. But last night on his radio show, which is on WSUM 91.7. You can go to WSUM.org to listen every Friday night at 9 p.m. This guy has the nerve to do a radio show called Everywhere at Once under the name DJ Persona. We all know that it's fake because everything that Chuck does is fake. This is Enemy Chuck. Don't be fooled. DJ Persona is Chuck. He may try to hide it, but it's the truth. Anyway, last night he played a song from one of my old bands from a long time ago, Dinosaurs Roar. He played that song, which led to a purchase for the first time in probably 15 years from our Bandcamp page for $1. Somebody paid $1 for Dinosaurs Roar.
Nice. Now you can quit. You can quit everything. Just step back, let the money roll in.
Well, that's back in like 91, that would have been 4 gumballs.
Yeah.
Or 4 Little Debbies, in fact.
Yeah. Yeah. Money back in the 90s was gumballs and Little Debbie snack cakes. That's what we did.
That's what people paid for their drugs with.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah, they bought their Scooby snacks.
Scooby snacks.
With actual snacks.
What
was that song, Scooby Snacks? Remember that?
Oh, yeah, Fun Loving Criminals.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Do you think the Scooby snacks were any good? Like, because, it seemed to me like in the van, Shaggy always had, conveniently, these Scooby snacks, and they had to get stale at some point.
I think that they were edibles. Like, I mean, technically, obviously, they're edibles. I mean, weed edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were like, can of butter biscuits. That's what I think.
Can of butter biscuits? That's what you think they were?
Yeah, I do. Zoinks, we're so high.
If you want to contact us, please send us a message on Instagram. Or email at us.
Do that too.
Accelerativ.thrust@gmail.com. No E at the end of Accelerativ. Bye.
Oh, bye.
wait.
Oh,
Yeah. Bye.
bye.
Oh, bye.
Oh, man.
Bye. Yeah, maybe we need to change that ending.
Here we are at Fisher Palooza 2008.